Regicide Legacy. This is your review for 2. Good day, my name is Joe. Today we'll be going over Regicide Legacy and how it plays with 2 players. Now Regicide Legacy is a 1 to 4 player cooperative game where you'll be playing over the course of 12 scenarios, and you'll play those until you defeat each one of them. In these scenarios, you're playing games of Regicide. So everybody's going to have their kind of deck of cards, and you're going to have to defeat the enemy by reducing each one of the health to 0, banishing it, just doing whatever the scenario calls for. And hopefully by the end, you've defeated all the enemies in that scenario and you can move on. So see a little bit more how to play. So if you are familiar with Regicide, this plays very similar at the beginning. You actually play a standard game of Regicide at the beginning game. Scenario 1 is going to be play a standard game of Regicide. And you're going to start off with 7 cards in your hand in a 2-player game. So both players will be playing with 7 cards, but you're going to be playing these different cards. Now each of them have different suits. They may reduce the enemy's power. They may put cards from the discard pile back in the deck, have you draw cards. But what's interesting is the number that you play is going to decrease the enemy's health. However, you also have to take damage from the enemy at the end of the turn, and you have to discard that many cards, however much damage is taken. So it kind of definitely ramps up and ramps down its card management over the course of the game. And it really is an interesting game. There are a lot of player helpers and player rules along the way, and over the course of the Legacy campaign, you're going to be adding stickers to cards, you're going to be adding stickers to the player helper, you're going to be adding stickers to the rule book, all while advancing the games, getting more suits, and going through each of the scenarios. Now, if you do lose a scenario, you do get to add like a helper card in, or multiple helper cards if you lose multiple times, but you are going to play that exact same scenario until you beat it and then move on to the next one. Each one of them has a very short story before and after, and kind of can change the rules after the scenario, and each player gets one of the scenario helper cards, and you're off to play. So after 12, hopefully you've beaten the game, and then you've beaten Regicide Legacy, and you can play the Legacy version of the game. So let's see a little bit more what I thought about the game. So first we're going to go into the components, rules, and references. And I will say the components in this game, well, they're pretty lights out. I love it. I didn't think this game, its production value could be worth kind of the $60 price tag, but they give you these neoprene mats. They give you a big neoprene mat for the main table. Each person has their own neoprene mat. All these different cards. Every card you use is going to go into a sleeve. Every card that the enemies are in are also going to go into a corrupted sleeve. So it's just all these different components. You're going to be opening up these kind of packs at the end of each one of these missions, and it really is kind of neat as you expand this game. So the components I really think are high quality, even from the trackers of the strength and the health of the enemy. I really like the components in this game. Really think it's a good value in the box. Now the rules and references. The rules are very straightforward, especially if you've played Regicide. The first game you're going to be playing Regicide, and you're going to slowly add these rules to it. So the rules, I would say, are very well laid out in the rule book. And the references, the references are really good. Tells you exactly how to do it. And then once you keep on adding some more and more of the different suits, it tells you the exact order and how to do it, and gives great examples in the book. Just talk about setup and table size. Well, setup really won't take you too long, especially since you're going to be using a deck of cards that are going to kind of stay with you from game to game. You may add cards to it. You may take cards away. You may add stickers to these cards, but this is going to be your main reserve deck. And it really will be open the pack of the scenario that you're on. Read it out loud, set it up. I would say setup in this game takes about maybe 5 minutes or so. Very quick setup. Pickup really won't take you very long either. Table size, the main board is kind of large, but for in a 3x3 setting, this can definitely be played at 2 players. It'd be a little bit tight, 4 players on a 3x3, but I would say this game is fairly compact for what it is as well. So now let's go into the gameplay. So if you've played Regicide and you like Regicide, well, this is a great game, right? You're just going to be playing more and more Regicide. You're going to be playing game after game of it. I don't quite like the mechanic of you just get to add more cards until you beat the scenario, but I understand where they're going with it as far as it does have to progress. The small story that goes along with it. I will say, as a caveat, we just finished up scenario 6, so we are halfway done with the campaign, and that's a lot of Regicide. So we have one-shot one of the scenarios, and one of them took us 4, maybe even 5 times to complete. We did have to add a lot of helper cards to the reserve deck. I believe they're called the mercenary deck. But if you like the game of Regicide, this is great. It is pretty intense, and it is pretty cutthroat. It's not very forgiving, I should say. That's a better word. There are ways to combo things. You can play, up to 10 points worth of cards as long as they're the same suit. You can add aces to give you kind of double suits, so you can do 2 things at one time. You can draw cards and kind of defend, or maybe do double damage. So there's different ways. There's a lot of different comboing in this game, but you are still constricted by the card you draw. I mean, this is a huge deck, and if you don't quite draw what you need, well, you're just going to lose that turn. What if the top monster may be immune to something that you were going to play on the turn, or you really need to draw cards and they're immune, and you didn't quite set up in time, you didn't quite plan with your neighbor in the 2-player game. It is very unforgiving, and I will say that is one of the downsides of Regicide Legacy. This is not an easy co-op. This is a tough co-op, and you're going to want to play with either the same person or the same group every time to really get a good flow of the game, because there's just so many nuances to the game. When do I play this? How do I play this? It will be kind of tough for us to put this up and then get it back out due to all the rules that we did add, and they added it at a good pace. Don't let me get that wrong. But it's going to be remembering some of the things, which really won't be too hard. But anything from what does the corrupted card do, to what does this symbol do, to I added a B to my deck. What does a B do? I know what an ace does, but I don't know what a B does. A beast. I love the artwork on these cards. The artwork on these cards are awesome. Each card is named. I love that. There's so many cool things. There's so many touches of love that you can see was put into this game, whether it be the names on the cards, whether it be the play mats, but you are essentially playing Regicide. So I'll play a standard game of Regicide first with a deck of cards to see if you want to delve into this, because you will be playing a lot. Like I said, we have failed a scenario multiple times because we thought one of the scenarios at 2-player was just pretty ruthless, but that's I'll get to that in a second on the 2-player. But as far as the gameplay goes, gameplay is smooth. I love adding stuff for the Legacy. I do think you're going to get a lot in this box. You're going to get many plays, and the games are pretty quick. The games are going to take you maybe 20-25 minutes on some of these. Some of them may take you close to 40, as you have to defeat more enemies on some scenarios than the other. Some you may have to defeat 12 enemies. Some others you may just have to defeat 8. So it's a lot of Regicide in this box if you played the base game. I know I keep on going to it, but it's a lot of iterations on that, but that's not a bad thing. And it really is a lot of fun to play this. Like I said, kind of have a lot of mixed feelings about this game and the gameplay. So is this game good for 2? And as I alluded to earlier, there was one scenario that we ran across that just felt brutal with 2. We had to discard extra cards, and at 2 players, you just don't have that extra buffer as you would at a 3 or 4 player game, where someone making discard cards and they won't have their turn for a while. They'll be able to draw cards. Now with 2 players, you get to draw more cards and make sure that you keep your hand size. There's varying hand size at the different player counts. 2 players, you do get to play with 7, but you play 2 cards on your turn, then you discard 2 for damage, and you're left with 3, and you already feel like you're on the back foot with 2 players. I didn't like that as much. I didn't feel like I had this player agency of actually losing health. I was getting chunked. We have 2 turns to defeat this monster out there, this enemy out there. And I didn't quite like that. I like the games where you can slowly defeat the enemy and they can slowly deplete you. And it's kind of like an attrition battle, where this feels like, you know, I'm going to smash you in the face. And if I don't smash you in the face, I'm going to have to discard cards and it'll feel like the enemy, smashed me in the face. So with 2 players, I like the intimacy of being able to play cards, work together. You're not supposed to do table talk. We did do a little bit of table talk and be like, so do you have any of these numbers? And we called them, you know, dwarfs for 4s because they each have names on them to try to, you know, double up. And that's how I think this game, it would be fun to play. I know they did it for non-quarterbacking reasons, so one person wouldn't be able to tell everybody how to play. But overall, 2-player game, this has been a great experience. Just one of the scenarios really wasn't for us and kind of turned us off a little bit on that scenario when we had to play the same one 5 times. That's one thing about Pandemic Legacy that I really like, is every month is going to be played twice, no matter what, no matter pass or fail. This is mash your head against the wall, add a whole bunch of cards and hope those cards help you, or hope you get the monsters out in a good order. And that luck factor sometimes just doesn't quite sit with me. And we are going to put this up after 6 scenarios. We got a lot of play out of this. We've been playing for at least 2 weeks in the evenings after we put, you know, our kid to bed, where it's just, you know, we can play for that 30 minutes. It's been a lot of fun, but the problem is it's a little bit brutal as far as just kind of the progression goes. I love how you put stickers on the card. I love how we're going to get more cards. We get more suits and stuff like this. So, like I said, this game has a lot of stuff going for it. But in the end, do you enjoy base game Regicide? If the answer is yes, pick this up. If the answer is no, you don't enjoy Regicide, then you might like portions of this game, but it is just a lot of the same game. So this game is really unique. I am not in one bit sad that we ordered this and we played it as much as we have. I would hope that we can finish the last 6 scenarios, but we've had a really good time with what we've had, and I'm not disappointed. So, like I said, kind of a mixed review on this one. We really enjoy portions of it, and there's portions that we don't at 2 players, but I'll leave that up to you guys to decide, you know, especially if you like Regicide or not. So, hope you guys enjoyed the review. Sorry about the rambling on a few, but there's, like I said, a lot of highs and lows with this game. So, hope you guys enjoyed the review, and until next time,